There is no mother, there is no father. Every child is an orphan. Gilles Deleuze and Félix Guattari in Anti-Oedipus. Anti-Oedipus by Gilles Deleuze and Félix Guattari critiques traditional psychoanalytic theories and introduces the radical concept of desiring machines. This must-read text, the first volume of their influential series, Capitalism and Schizophrenia, challenges our understanding of desire, power, and society. Critique of psychoanalytic theory. Deleuze and Guattari begin by critiquing the foundational aspects of Freudian psychoanalysis, particularly the Oedipus complex. According to Freud, the Oedipus complex is a universal stage in childhood development where a child experiences desire for the opposite sex parent and rivalry with the same-sex parent. Deleuze and Guattari argue that this framework is overly simplistic and reductionist, failing to account for the complexities of human desire and social relations. They state, the Oedipal model is a historically contingent product, not a universal structure of human psychology. Freud's approach suggests that all desires are funneled through this familial triangle, creating a narrow and deterministic view of human psychology. Deleuze and Guattari propose that desire operates in a far more complex and dynamic way, not confined to family structures. Central to Anti-Oedipus is the concept of desiring machines. Deleuze and Guattari propose that desire is not a lack or a need to be fulfilled, as traditional psychoanalysis suggests, but a productive force that drives human behavior and social relations. Desiring machines are the mechanisms through which desires are expressed and realized, constantly creating connections and producing reality. They write, desiring machines work continuously without interruption, forming flows and breaks that shape our existence. Desiring machines link to other machines, creating a vast network of production that includes both the biological and social. This network forms the basis of what Deleuze and Guattari call the machinic unconscious, where desires are continually generated and transformed. Deleuze and Guattari explore how capitalism manipulates and exploits these desiring machines. They argue that capitalism decodes traditional social structures and norms only to recode them in ways that serve its own interests. This process leads to what they call schizophrenia, not in the clinical sense, but as a metaphor for the fragmented and disjointed experience of individuals under capitalism. They explain, capitalism is the only social machine that is both infinitely flexible and perpetually schizophrenic. Capitalism breaks down established social codes and norms, called deterritorialization, and then imposes new ones, called reterritorialization, that align with its goals of reproducing capital. This constant process of breaking down and rebuilding creates a schizophrenic experience where individuals must navigate an ever-changing landscape of desires and norms. Essentially, capitalism continually disrupts traditional ways of life and imposes new ones that serve its interests, i.e., maximizing profit, accumulating capital, and perpetual economic growth. This makes people feel fragmented and disoriented as they are constantly adapting to new social expectations and consumer trends, losing a sense of stable identity and community. Deterritorialization and reterritorialization are crucial concepts for the authors. Again, deterritorialization refers to the process by which existing social structures and meanings are dismantled, while reterritorialization is the creation of new structures and meanings. In order to maintain its required perpetual growth, capitalism constantly deterritorializes, breaking down boundaries and traditions, but it also reterritorializes, establishing new norms and controls. They state, the capitalist machine deterritorializes flows of desire, only to reterritorialize them in the service of profit. For example, the family unit may be deterritorialized through changes in social norms and economic pressures, only to be reterritorialized into new forms such as the nuclear family or consumer-driven family dynamics that fit capitalist needs. Deleuze and Guattari introduced the idea of the body without organs, BWO. It is a complex concept but can be understood as a metaphor for a state of pure potential and unstructured desire. Imagine it as a blank canvas where anything is possible, free from the constraints and limitations imposed by society, culture, or traditional structures. What would you desire without constraint? Where would you go? Who would you be? How different would your reality be if daily constraints did not restrict you? They write, "The body without organs is the field of immanence of desire, the place where all production takes place." To break it down further, let's consider how our desires and behaviors are often shaped and restricted by societal norms, rules, and expectations. For example, society tells us what kinds of relationships are acceptable, what career paths are prestigious, and what lifestyles are desirable. These norms act like a blueprint that dictates how we should live and what we should want. The BWO is a way to imagine what it would be like if we could strip away all these societal constraints imposed by the capitalist system and let our desires flow freely and naturally. It's about reaching a state where our desires are not predetermined or channeled by external pressures, but are instead spontaneous and creative. This state allows for new forms of existence and ways of being that aren't confined by traditional roles or expectations. In practical terms, the BWO encourages us to question and break free from the rigid structures that limit our potential. It's a call to embrace a more fluid and open-ended approach to life, where we can explore and realize our true desires without being boxed in by societal norms. For instance, think about how someone might feel constrained by societal expectations about gender roles. The BWO would represent a state where they can express their identity in any way that feels true to them, without being limited by the traditional binary notions of male and female. It's about opening up new possibilities and embracing diversity in how we live and express ourselves. So the BWO is not a literal body without organs, but a metaphorical space where desires and potentials are free to emerge and evolve without the constraints of imposed structures. It's a powerful idea that challenges us to rethink how we live and to imagine new, more liberated ways of being. Anti-Oedipus also critiques the role of the state and other institutions in shaping and controlling desire. Deleuze and Guattari argue that these institutions impose artificial limits on desire, channeling it in ways that maintain their power and authority. They challenge readers to envision a society where desire is free to flow and create without such constraints. They assert, the state apparatus is a gigantic machine for capturing and redirecting flows of desire. The state, through laws, norms, and institutions, captures and redirects the productive energy of desiring machines to sustain its power structure. Education, media, and even the family are tools used to mold desires to fit the needs of capitalism. Deleuze and Guattari's analysis remains highly relevant today. In an age of advanced capitalism, where consumer culture and digital technologies constantly manipulate our desires, understanding the dynamics of desiring machines and the processes of deterritorialization and reterritorialization is crucial. Their work encourages us to question the structures that shape our lives and to seek new ways of being that resist the commodification and control of our desires. Today's advertising, social media, and entertainment industries exemplify the manipulation and control of desire. They create artificial needs and desires, continuously reterritorializing our identities and social roles to align with market demands. Anti-Oedipus by Gilles Deleuze and Félix Guattari offers a radical rethinking of desire, power, and society. By critiquing traditional psychoanalytic theories and exploring the complex interplay between capitalism and desire, Deleuze and Guattari provide a powerful framework for understanding and challenging the forces that shape our world. Understanding Anti-Oedipus helps us see beyond the superficial layers of our consumer-driven society and recognize the deeper mechanisms at play. It challenges us to rethink our desires, our relationships, and the social structures that influence them. Thank you for watching. This is the Left Library, where we simplify political philosophy and political economy for a bite-sized political education. Let's continue to learn and grow together.